Hello, fellow game makers, and welcome to the final episode of our little series. And just in time for Leo to release another video. So, what are we going to do today? Today, just as it says here, we're going to create a surface that we can use to make bullets only appear inside the bullet board. Now, a few basics first. What even is a surface? And it's pretty simple. A surface is a piece of the screen that you reserve for drawing stuff. In fact, everything you see drawn on the screen when you run a game in Game Maker is drawn to its own surface called the application surface. And it's by manipulating that surface that you would achieve effects like borders, like I do in my own little project right here. So you're probably thinking from hearing all that we're going to do something like this. We're going to create a surface inside the bullet board and draw bullets to it. And you're not wrong in thinking that, but there's a bit of a problem, and I'm gonna show it right here. So I already programmed a manager object that will spawn a bullet wherever I click on the screen. And if I click right here, or here, there's no bullet. But if I click up here, there's one there, but it shouldn't be there, it should be here. And why is this happening? Well, because drawing coordinates are specific to whatever surface you draw themselves in. So if I create something here, but I set it to draw itself to this surface, whenever it appears here, it's actually going to draw here and keep going like that. And that's the problem we're seeing here. And as a side project and as a side problem, the surface doesn't scale whenever we rescale the bullet board itself. So we're not going to do this. Instead, we're going to do this. We're going to draw a surface that is the size of the entire room or display, and we're just going to draw a part of it inside the bullet board. And that part is going to be wherever the bullet board is. So it's also going to scale appropriately. So give me a few moments, I'll just clean the code so we can start fresh. Okay, so with that done, we can move over here to our old bullet board code and start by just creating a new variable in the create event. It's going to be surf equals -1, and this is what's going to be storing the ID of the surface we create. So we're going to add a new event now. Go here into draw and select pre-draw event. In Game Maker, just like we have the step events, we also have the different draw events. The pre-draw event runs before any of the draw events, so it's a good place to create surfaces in the first place. So we're gonna write this: if not surface exists, surf. So we're checking if our surface doesn't exist, and this is very important because surfaces are dynamic resources. So whenever you toggle full screen or minimize the game, your surface could be destroyed, and if anything is trying to draw itself to the surface, it's gonna throw an error and crash the game. So we're gonna be recreating it in the pre-draw event whenever it doesn't exist. We're going to say surf equals surface create, and now you specify a width and height. I'm going to use room width and room height. Of course, you want to change this depending on how you're doing your own game, but this is going to work for us. And after that, we're going to do this: surface set target and pass surf, our own surface. And this is gonna set all further drawings we do here to that surface. And now write draw clear alpha, pass C black and 0. And what draw clear alpha does is that it clears the surface. Otherwise, whatever you draw to it is gonna stay there no matter how many times you draw it. So you could end up with a surface that has a bunch of old sprites that are not being properly cleared. And now, below that, surface reset target. So everything that comes after this piece of code doesn't draw itself to the surface. Okay, so next we're going to go here to OBullet, and we're gonna make it draw itself to the surface. Come here in draw begin, and just like step, begin step, step and end step, you have draw begin, draw and draw end, and those are sequential. So since we're going to be drawing our surface in the normal draw event, we're going to be wanting to make sure that whatever bullet is drawing itself to the surface first draws itself to the surface. Otherwise, we could have errors where the surface will be drawing itself first, and then the bullet is going to draw itself to the surface, so the bullet's not actually going to show up. So we're gonna do another if check. If instance exists bullet board, first we check if the bullet board exists, and surface exists bullet board dot surf. And the way this end check here works is that if this turns out false, it's not even going to check here. So this is safe. We're gonna write surface set target bullet board dot surf. So now same as before, draw self and surface reset target. Okay, this should be it for now. Let's run the game. Let's create a bullet, and it's not drawing itself appropriately. And why is that? Well, it's for two main reasons. First, we still have a normal draw event in here that's executing. So we're just gonna add a normal draw event and leave it empty. Just like I said in the last episode, if we don't do anything in the draw event, that's essentially the object is not gonna draw itself to the screen. So, and after that, we're also not drawing the surface. Yes, so we're gonna come in the draw event because, yes, just like I mentioned in the beginning, the application surface does everything for you, but when you have your own surface, you have to take care of it. And we're gonna use this little function. Draw surface part. And this is gonna allow us to draw part of our surface. So we pass the surface ID. And now we pass the top left coordinates of where we want to begin the drawing. And since we want to draw inside our bullet board, it's pretty simple. We just use the bbox variables. So for the left, it would be bbox left plus border, and bbox top plus border. Now we pass the width and the height of how much we want to draw. And it's also pretty simple. We just use our sprite height and width variables. So it would be sprite width minus border times 2, because there's borders on either side, and sprite height plus minus border times 2. And now the x and y coordinates of where to draw. And the way surfaces work is that they always draw with the origin on the top right. So it's the same as the top left, coordinates we put in here. bbox left plus border, bbox top plus border. And now hopefully it'll draw itself to the screen. So let's run the game. And if I click here, wait for it, there we go. And if I click here, there we go. And now the bullet only appears inside the bullet board. And that's about it. I thank you very much if you were able to come this far, and hopefully this is gonna have set you ready for your own fan game, including when Lel eventually starts posting about actual combat. Maybe, hopefully, I was able to help her out by taking some of the work of the future workload off of her. But primarily, I hope that you who are watching this video were able to learn something new and become closer to achieving your actual project. I thank you very much for watching, especially if you watched all the way from the beginning to the end. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like if you did, and leave a comment if you have any questions or need any clarifications. And yeah, I'll be seeing you around.